What's up, guys? So, I'm a little behind on this, but Halloween Horror Nights has finally announced even more things, and a lot of things this time, too. So, in the most recent announcement, for one, they announced the theme of the event, and I know in the last Horror Nights video I had, there was a speculation of what the theme would be, of it being set around the 80s, and it turns out that that is true, which is awesome. I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be really cool to see, like, a whole, 80s horror like throughout the entire park. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool to see. So I'm excited how that plays out. I think a lot of the merchandise and designs and stuff that they'll make for this year will be kind of cool to look at. So it's cool that rumor came true. I'm excited that rumor came true. Another thing that got announced is instead of 9 houses that they've been doing for the last couple years, now they're going to be doing 10 houses.
10 whole houses.
Which is insane. That's a lot. And what's cool is that not only does that bring people in, but that also kind of eliminates a lot of the crowds and a lot of the wait times that some of these houses are going to have, because obviously Stranger Things is going to be one of the most, if not the most popular house this year, depending on what else they announce. And the wait times for these houses get really long too. So having 10 houses will be good for the fact that it's going to bring down some of the wait times, hopefully.
Hopefully, but it also could just drive that crowd even further.
Yeah.
And really expand the crowd.
Yeah, so well, they said the 10th house is going to be, they're going to be revealing that the 10th house is going to have this crazy, scary theme to it. So part of me feels like it might be one of those things that Hollow Scream did at one point, where it's a house that you pay for to go to. So you pay a little bit extra money and you can go through it. So when Hollow Scream had the Alone house, I don't know if many of you knew that, but it's a house where you pay extra and you can go in by yourself, or you can go in with up to 3 friends. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it'd be something like that.
Do you think they would do that? Just because of how large the crowds do get?
Maybe. Well, I know before, 2 years ago, they had a VR thing that you could pay extra for, and you can do a VR horror thing. So maybe, I don't know. I kind of hope they don't, because then crowds are still going to be the same, and I would also like to experience that 10th house instead of having to pay extra, because I'm broke. But
we're also spending money on the RIP tour and hotel and.
But yeah, either way, it's crazy. 10 houses. I hope that it's something they're going to keep doing too. I hope this is just a 1-year thing where they do it for 1 year and then.
Oh, I know it'd be nice to just have a regular 10 houses, but that's also them having to come up with even more stuff each year.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Is that 10th house going to be an IP, or is it going to be an original? Who knows? So another thing that got announced is, obviously Bill and Ted is gone. It's not coming back. So Academy of Villains is actually going to take the place of where the Bill and Ted's was. So I don't know if it was confirmed completely, but it's pretty highly likely that Academy of Villains is going to go in that Fear Factor stage, which I think is cool. That's really good for them. I can see that being something that's going to bring a huge crowd. It can easily fill up that stadium.
Well, they're really, really good entertainment, so I do feel like they deserve that space. It will bring in a good crowd, I think, for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Academy of Villains the last 2 years have been amazing. I don't think we got to see them. We saw them on YouTube. I don't think we got to see them last year, though.
Well, because when we went... We didn't make it to them, but good thing we did see it on YouTube.
Yeah, no, because last year when we were doing the tour, we got to a point where we could no longer really, Well, I think one of the... Anyways, Academy of Villains is going to go to the Fear Factor stage more than likely, so it's cool. It's going to be a high action-packed show from what the description of it said, so I'm excited to see that as well. So yeah, hopefully it'll be good. I don't see why it wouldn't be. And then the announcements for Scare Zones. We got a few announcements for Scare Zones, which is cool. So there's 3 original Scare Zones that got announced for this year, and the first one being...
The Harvest. An old barn is the setting of every kind of horror. Its walls are decorated with ominous objects and images from each house, hinting at the horrors to come. This barn is not as abandoned as it initially seems, and by the time you realize what lies within, it will be too late. Foul creatures lurk within, ready for a harvest of flesh and screams. Will you survive the reaping? So that's the description we are given for the announcement of the Harvest.
Yeah, which is cool, because a few people that I've read and who've commented on this stuff say that it might be kind of surrounding Scarecrow the Reaping, maybe just a bit, which was probably the best house last year. But
that was so cool.
Yeah, I think this is really cool to see though, because it's like, obviously it's pumpkins. Like, I love pumpkins. I don't know if you guys have seen my arm, but
Pumpkins!
yeah, I love pumpkins. I think it'll be a cool like theme to see. It'll be interesting to see how they pull that off. And I don't know what area of the park that's going to be at though, but I think
It should be at the beginning because it said images from the rest of the houses for fears to come.
yeah, I'm not sure. Huh?
So it will be. I'm assuming it would be sort of towards the beginning
That or they'll
as
just
a
do it in
foreshadowing of what's inside.
maybe that, or they might put it in like the area for like where they did Trick or Treat last year.
That was my other guess of where it would be, but
I think there's another one that actually might be in that area. I can't remember. So the next scare zone that was announced for Horror Nights is
Vamp 85. Before the countdown to midnight has started, it's clear this party has already been crashed, and the streets are running red with blood. You'll enter what looks like to be your typical New Year's Eve bash until it's too late. As the ball drops, fanged punks and big-haired vamps will start the feeding frenzy.
Now I can say right now, this is going to be the #1 scare zone for this year, and the reason why is because when they had Vamp 55 2 years ago, that was everyone's favorite, and now they're just adding a new year to it, which I think is really cool because the scare zone for Vamp 55 was like amazing.
Well, and it goes with this year's theme throughout the park of the 80s.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love vampires?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, or New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is a cool holiday too.
New Year's Eve and Halloween with vampires?
It's crazy.
Bam.
But yeah, and I'm cool to see I'm excited to see what some of the like the music that they're gonna have for that. So this scare zone is gonna be kind of where the Purge was last year, basically that whole area right there is gonna be. So this is gonna have a big area to work with. So that'll be really interesting to see too. And then finally, the last scare zone that was announced.
Twisted Tradition. Travel through the forest of Central Park where an ancient evil has been awakened. Halloween has been transformed into an abomination with rotting pumpkins fused with decaying human flesh. Try and escape the grasps of these fetid beings with nothing but the light from rotting jack-o'-lanterns to guide you.
So I mistaked the first scare zone for this one, so this one's gonna go where Trick or Treat was. I'm almost positive just because Central Park and that whole area is Central Park, so I'm assuming that's what they're gonna do with that scare zone. It's kind of what it sounds like is it's Universal's version of like Trick or Treat, basically. They're kind of just redoing that whole, putting out their own take on the Trick or Treat franchise.
That's what I would say. Definitely gonna be. I feel like this one will be pretty gory. And especially because we do have that farm one, and farm things are usually gory because of tools to hack people up and such. So I feel like, in my mind, it'll be what's caused from the farmhouse.
Yeah, could be. It's a good idea.
Kind of weaves its way through there.
Yeah. So yeah, so far that's everything that's been announced. I'm sure there's going to be more house announcements, as well as that they also announced the ticket prices and everything, which is exciting. So I'm going to try and do the Frequent Fear Pass, I think it was called. I can never remember. There's so many different ones, but I'm going to try and do the Frequent Fear, as well as we are going to be doing the RIP tour in sometime mid-October, which is exciting. So I'm ready to see what they're going to announce, especially knowing that there's 10 houses. It means there's a lot more announcements coming, and I'm excited. But until then, so far this is what we got. This is all we're gonna hear for now, until I think like hopefully towards the end of June. So a few more weeks, maybe they'll get another announcement. But yeah, again, if you like the content, please subscribe. I'm going to be posting more Horror Nights stuff as it gets posted and announced. So stay tuned here to see those.
We do post on our Instagram as well as Facebook. So
yeah, Instagram is Misfits Unmanaged. Facebook is also Misfits Unmanaged. Working on a Snapchat, maybe. We'll see. Don't know how well.
We'll use it that much.
Yeah,
because we do kind of post straight from our Instagram, but it would be nice to.
Yeah, so follow those things and stay up to date with what we're doing. Talk to us, all that stuff. So yeah, guys, until next time, stay spooky.